Rev up your engines! Scientists have just said that they have created nuclear fusion, which of course would create an endless supply of electricity, right? That instead of the fission like an atomic bomb, this is using fusion, like the sun does, to create endless amounts of energy. But of course, there's one catch. This self-sustaining fusion only lasts for a few nanoseconds. Now, if you know what a nanosecond is 1 billionth of a second. So it's not exactly what we call a long-term reliable source of energy. Now, if it was, you could charge electric cars with all this electricity from fusion. But, you know, I'm an old man, right? Well, when I was a kid, they were talking about nuclear fusion for power. That was a long time ago, in the previous century, and they still haven't gotten it. So I kind of doubt that it's going to affect anything. Here's the interesting thing about it, too. This happened August of last year. So they took a whole year to say, oh, yes, that lasted for a few nanoseconds. They had to all decide, all the scientists. Was it real? Was it not real? Well, supply of electricity, I think, is going to be a long way, if ever, that we're going to have nuclear fusion, other than the sun, which does it pretty good, and it's safe because it's 93 million miles away. Well, that VinFast company, the Vietnamese company that's starting to sell electric cars in the United States, they now said that they will give the $7,500 rebate to their customers even if the United States government doesn't. You know, they got to deal with where they're built. They got to have 70% American batteries, blah, 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 blah. It turns out that the law that they just made, something like 80% of the cars sold today, including Tesla, wouldn't be available for the rebate because the batteries come more than 70% from China and other countries. Who knows? These politicians, they don't know what the heck they're doing. Everybody knows that. But the VinFast company, it sounds to me like they're sharp businessmen. They're saying that, well, we'll give it to you if the government doesn't. Now, they tell the people they have to apply for it. And if the government gets to it, great. They get their rebate from the government. But if they apply and the government rejects it, they said they're going to give a $7,500 rebate on the cars themselves. Now, that shows me these Vietnamese guys are pretty sharp businessmen. They're not stooges. They're not like old Elon who just keeps raising the price because he figures, I'm the man. I have expensive electric cars. Everybody can afford these cars. It's a spit in the bucket, a few thousand here or there, you know. But the VinFast guys, these Vietnamese with electric cars, they seem to be pretty sharp businessmen saying, hey, we'll give it to you if the government doesn't. You won't say, well, I'm not going to buy the Vietnamese one because I don't get a rebate. Other electric people better watch out because they say they're going to be making these VinFast ones in the United States, too. They're going to have a factory here where they build them. Parker Shepard said, Scotty, what do you think of Silverado 2500s? A very good question. I just told you I would not buy a Silverado 1500 if my life depended on it. But if I needed a big truck, the Silverado 2500s are not bad trucks. My AC guy here in Tennessee, he's got 2 of them, and he loves them. He had bought a Silverado a while back, 1500, and he hated it. He said it was the biggest pile of junk he ever had. But then when he went to the 2500, he liked it because realized on the 2500, you get a choice of many engines, many different transmissions. You can get them custom built. A lot of them you get Allison transmissions, which are tons better than the crap GM makes. GM has a deal where they call them Allison branded transmissions, and they put some of those in like their 1500s. It's just a GM transmission, and when they sold, they owned Allison. When they sold, part of the deal was GM could make transmissions and call them Allison branded. So if you look at a GM and it says it has an Allison branded transmission, that's BS. It's just GM crap. But on the 2500, you can get actual Allison transmissions, which are tons better. So the 2500s, they're not giving them away. They're expensive as can be, brand new, but they are pretty good big work trucks. David K says, my mom got a 2013 Nissan Altima. The power steering sounds like it's whining. What do you think? Okay, first thing, check the fluid when it's cold. If it's slow, it will whine. Fill it up, it stops whining, great. Means it's leaking a little, but sometimes they leak so little that you fill it up, maybe it won't whine for a year or two. Then just keep adding it. But say it's whining, you fill it up, and then it starts whining a few days later, fix the leak, see if any of the hoses are leaking, right? Now, if it's completely full of fluid, meaning it's not leaking anywhere, but it still whines, that generally means the pump is wearing. But if it steers okay, live with it. Many of those things will whine for years, as long as they're full of fluid and it steers and it doesn't bind. Now, on the other hand, if it whines and then when you steer it kind of binds, then it means the pump's going out and replace the pump. Mark Long says, I got a 2011 Equinox 2.4 with 160,000 miles. The timing chain went out. Is it worth keeping? Should I fix it and trade it in? Fix it and trade it in. That's the tip of the iceberg. That is the beginning of the endless money pit. You're starting to just slide into the pit, and you got a long way to go to make it to the bottom. The transmission will go out. Definitely fix it and get get rid of the stupid thing. They're still giving good money for trade-in vehicles. Do that and get out of it. Don't buy another GM product if you know it's good for you. German Chevy says, greetings, Scotty. What's your opinion on a Nissan Armada? Is it better than a Chevy Tahoe? Yes, it certainly is better than a Chevy Tahoe. The Nissan Armada is not a bad vehicle. I mean, it's not as good as a Toyota or a Honda, but it's relatively close. Chevy Tahoes, they're junk these days. Back way back, like long decades ago, they were okay. Now they're junk. Don't buy the Tahoe. There's nothing wrong with an Armada. I personally would buy a Toyota, but Xur503 says, Scotty, what do you think of a 95 GMC Suburban 2500 with a 454 carbureted engine? I'm going to buy one with 70,000 original miles. Back in the day, those things could run forever. Now, it's got a massive 454 cubic inch engine and a carburetor. It is going to go through gas. In goes the gas, out goes the exhaust, and down goes the gas, and out goes the wallet to buy the gas to fill it up again. But they can run forever. If you don't mind horrendous gas mileage, those things can run forever, and it really only has 70,000 original miles. I've seen those things with 350, and they're still running okay. So, if you don't mind horrendous gas mileage, it'll be a fun thing to drive around. Adrian says, I got an '06 gray Caravan, 3.8. It burns a quart of oil every 3,000 miles. How can I fix it? I don't have any other problems with the vehicle. It's not all that much oil. Change the PCV valve. Pray that fixes it. Might. If it doesn't, live with it. Oil's cheap. Engines cost a fortune, right? It's an old car. It's an '06 Caravan. You say you don't have any other problems with it? I find that amazing. The big old joke that went around for a long time was, why can Dodge Caravans hold 8 people? So 7 of them get out and push while the driver steers to the nearest gas station to get them fixed. So you maybe have a lucky, maybe you have the only one they ever built that didn't have problems. So keep it up. Take care of it. Just add oil as it burns. You don't want to rebuild the engine. It's not worth the money to rebuild the engine. And that little bit of oil doesn't hurt anything. Well, there now is an electric EV called the Bolus Volterra, and it says you can live off grid indefinitely because it's got a bunch of solar panels on it. It can charge itself up. It has satellite internet, 480 watt solar panels, 50-gallon fresh water tank, and a 17 kilowatt-hour battery. It sleeps 4 is over 27 feet long, but it also costs $310,000. So if you're going to live off-grid, you're going to have to live on-grid first to make a whole bunch of money to pay for the thing. So if society goes all down, I guess you could be in your little solar-charged RV. Now, they say you can live off-grid indefinitely with these things because it has 2 240-watt solar panels. Now, the solar panels directly charge a 17 kilowatt-hour battery. If you wanted to recharge your battery using just your solar panels, all right, it would take 46 peak sun hours to charge the battery from 0 to 100%, okay? Now, we're talking about not 46 hours, but 46 peak hours. So when the sun's at noon shining down, it would have to do that for 46 continuous hours. So if you do just the basic math, you're not even going to get 12 hours a day, so that would more than double that. So you'd be calling 92 hours to fully charge it, and that would have to be full sun. So you're looking at many days to fully charge the thing up. So don't be in a big hurry to get anywhere with the thing. What they don't want to talk that much about is this isn't really an EV vehicle. It is an EV trailer. It does not pull itself around. You're talking about having all those solar panels to recharge itself. It doesn't move by itself. You got to pull it with something. So much for living off grid. You got to get it somewhere. I guess once you get it there, you could be off grid, but you got to pull it with something because it's just a trailer. But no way I'd pay 310 grand for a trailer that you got to pull it with something else. I guess they're just looking for the richest people on the earth who want a new toy. It's all, aluminum, shiny, and the picture they show one of these Rivian pickup trucks pulling it, all electric, right? But I mean, it's not really all that off-grid because you got to move it from here to there. It does not move by itself. It's just a trailer that you pull behind a vehicle. And even at that, they say, well, you got to kind of limit how much you use a stove and microwave because they use a lot of power, right? It's a long way before these solar panels are efficient enough for actually moving anything around, that's for sure. Blah, blah says, Scotty, do you have any favorite movies? When I was on CBS TV for like 12 years, I used to take funny clips from movies and stick with my beginning. It would just have a nice segue to something hilarious. I did one with Richard Burton where he says, I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. And then I said, do you trust used car salesmen? I had some funny stuff. So I have watched tens of thousands of movies. I have to say, my all-time favorite is Dr. Strangelove. That's a great movie. And hilarious thing, they made fun about fluoridated water. Fluoridated water in children's ice cream, Mandrake. And now it turns out that isn't that good for people. So even back then, these guys had some ideas. You can't beat Dr. Strangelove. It's a sardonic humor movie, but I have a sardonic sense of humor, so fit right in. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.